What's going on, everybody? Brian here from Brian's Broadcast. I hope all of you are doing fantastic. On this channel today, I'm going to review a really popular fragrance. It's called Angel's Share by KILIAN. And if you are new to this game, I'm pretty sure you are hearing this for the first time. And if you're old in this game, you have heard about this fragrance countless number of times. Now, why am I doing this? Because number one, it's for my own pleasure and for my own hobby, and number two, for people who are just stepping into this game. So without much delay, let me show you the little presentation. Comes in a really nice sturdy box. It's got some texture to it, and then you get the KILIAN logo on the top. That's some information on the bottom. It's like a cube kind of thing, but over here the notch is not too deep, so the fragrance bottle doesn't sit very snugly in there, so you better watch out when you're unboxing this thing. That's pretty much it. Let me show you the bottle. This thing looks like a beautiful whiskey glass or cognac glass. Just look at the juice color. It's deep amber. It's beautiful. I mean, just phenomenal. The only complaint I have for this fragrance and the bottle is the cap. I mean, with the money spent, I really wish this was glass, but this is like high quality plastic. As you can see, it's absolutely see-through. But yeah, I just wished. It's just a wish. Come on, don't kill me for this nonsense. And you get the Angel Share logo right here in the front, some information at the bottom. That's about it. Phenomenal thing. It comes in a size of 50 ml. I never saw this thing in a bigger bottle, but you do get those refill canisters out there, so yeah, you can always refill these bottles by purchasing one of those big refill bottles. So let me talk about the notes over here. So on the top you get cognac, in the mids you got cinnamon, tonka bean, and oak wood, and on the base you got praline, vanilla, and sandalwood. Pretty simplistic, right? But let me give you a little background. KILIAN is one of those houses that's deeply connected with the brand, the cognac brand of Hennessy. If you have seen that bottle, you already know what I'm talking about. If you have not, please go ahead, do your homework on it. And KILIAN is so far I know, or whatever thing I could find out, KILIAN inherited, it's like a generational thing that they own the house of Hennessy, the cognac brand, and I think they make some other kind of booze too. So most of the creations by KILIAN are like boozy, like booze oriented, like cognac or whiskey or rum, stuff like that, vodka, stuff like that, right? So it's only too obvious that somebody who specializes in making booze will obviously create fragrances that are more centered towards booziness. Now let me tell you one thing. Some people say, oh, the booziness is too much. Let me just give you one thing before I even proceed with this fragrance, how I felt. It's not as boozy as this of the Immortals from Zaharoff and Curly Scents. It's not as boozy as this. It's definitely not as boozy as the siren itself. It's not as boozy as Initio's Side Effect, and it's definitely not as boozy as Faviol Seferi Insomnia. So there you go. It's not too boozy. Anybody who's complaining like this thing's too boozy, Angel Share is very extremely boozy, you are wrong. You have not smelled what booziness is. Trust me, the four that I showed you, try them. Get a decant or something, try them, and you will know what I'm talking about, what booziness is all about. This fragrance, Angel Share, the first time I sprayed it on, took me a while to absorb and understand what's going on. In simple terms, this is one of the most seductive, really alluring and very comforting fragrance. It's in my pictures that I posted on Instagram, on Facebook, in the groups, everywhere. I clearly mentioned Angel Share is one of those fragrances that gives you that beautiful warm and comforting vibe in a cold winter's day or night. The moment you put it on, you're hit with that like a nice light booziness that's coming out, and there's a kind of sweetness from the cinnamon, and there's this warmth. It's the kind of warmth that's like the perfect kind of flame that gives you that like the right amount of everything. It's like perfection in a bottle. A lot of people commented a lot of things, like there was the good comments and there were the rude comments, to the point where somebody, I don't remember the person's name, I don't want to mention any person's name though, but that person clearly mentioned that he and his girlfriend absolutely hated this fragrance. And how much did they hate it, or they did not like it? I would rather put it this way. Let me rephrase. They did not like Angel Share. How much did they not like it? They said, what if there was a candle burning in the room and it was like of heavy cinnamon? There's this sweetness, like spicy cinnamon burning in the corner of a room from a candle, and there's this one person who drank a lot of wine and then came into your face and burped. Imagine someone telling you that kind of a description for a fragrance. But guys, let me tell you again, fragrances are subjective. I don't blame the person. I don't blame the person's girl. They didn't like it. They didn't like it. That was how bad it got for them, right? That's why I said there was the good and there was the rude. So yeah, there you have it. So as this fragrance started drying down, it turned out to be like a bit more gourmandish. Now, why do I say that? I don't find it like absolutely gourmand, because there were facets, there were nuances that did not make it absolutely gourmand, at least to my nose. The tonka bean here kind of gave you that creamy, like a creamy kind of vibe, which is very sweet. Not too sweet, I mean, I wouldn't say it, but it's pretty much like above average sweet, but not one of those diabetic sweetness like I say all the time, right? And the vanilla here, the sandalwood here, is a very like a gourmand nature, and the praline, like that kind of gives you that, it's like a consistency that you get. Like if you taste praline in your mouth, there's a sort of sticky consistency that you'll get. That's the kind of thing I'm talking about. Like there's a depth, there's a richness, there's a lot of warmth to it, but it does not overwhelm. That's all I'm saying. The performance on Angel Share was, I mean, phenomenal. I was not expecting, usually like niche fragrances sometimes could really put you off when it comes to projection and performance, but KILIAN's Angel Share right here, this one knows how to perform. Like from the moment you applied, I always went with like a lower amount of spray, because I always want to find out how much does this thing perform, how does it perform, how far can I push it. So it's winter in New York City right now. It's cold. It's very cold. So I put this thing on my skin. So maybe 2 behind the ears and 3 on my chest, like with a little gap. So with all these layers of clothes, altogether 5 sprays, this thing projects through the clothes very, very strongly, and it went on for like 1.5 to 2 hours. A lot of you will say, how do you measure all the time? Listen, dude, if you are aware of what you're doing, and if you do have a watch, you can always measure things out. You can time things out, like, okay, I can tell by the person's expression, like maybe they're, like being a bit squirmy. You can tell right away. You just have to use your eyes, ears, and senses, right? So don't be a dumbass and say, how do you measure these things? How do you measure this? How do you measure that? Right? That said, on the side, the performance, it went well beyond 8 to 10 hours. And even after that, it stays on your skin like a very nice and beautiful skin scent, and it just keeps on wafting. Like in the dry down, it doesn't develop too much. It's not one of those fragrances that develops too much, because again, the lesser number of notes should tell you right away that it's not something you would expect to develop too much. But the way it performs, the way it evolves, the way it comes off your skin, it's beautiful. You will love it. People around you will love it. Is it a date night fragrance? 100%. If your girl or your partner is into this kind of fragrance, they will definitely like it. It's an attraction. It draws attention, and people will compliment, even if they don't. But know this, they will have a smile on their face. Probably they'll not come up to you and say, yeah, you smell really good. They probably won't be telling you that, right? You can't expect people to come up to you and say, like, hey, you smell great. Not everyone will do. But the thing is, you will see like there's a look of assurance that yes, you are smelling nice. You get that vibe. You see people happy around you. That's what I'm meaning over here. So that was my take on Angel Share, a beautiful gourmandish kind of fragrance with this lovely cozy vibes, and this particularly suits a very cold winter's day or night. I would, any kind of like attire would do, but I would rather rock it in a bit like a semi-formal kind of situation, but totally doable, and you can pull it off in any kind of situation. Totally loved this fragrance. That was my take on Angel Share by KILIAN. So let me know in the comment section below what you feel. If you have any other experience, I'm planning on getting vodka on the rocks from the house. Please let me know in the comment section below how it performs, or if you have any experience also regarding Angel Share. So until the next video, guys, make sure you're subscribed to this channel. Make sure you hit the thumbs up, because we gotta beat the YouTube algorithm too. And thank you for being a kind and fantastic audience so far. I love you guys. So until the next video, please take care, stay safe, and all the best.